ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಅಹವಾಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಎಲ್ಲರದ್ದು ಡಿಮಾಂಡು ಮತ್ತು ಅಹವಾಲನ್ನ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಯರ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಕೂಡಿ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಏನಾರು ಎಚ್ಚೆತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವಾಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜಯಚಾಮರಾಜ ಆಟದ ಮೈದಾನದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಓಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಅಧಿವೇಶನ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಉಗ್ರ ಹೋರಾಟದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಜಯಚಾಮರಾಜದ ಆಟದ ಮೈದಾನದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ.
ಹೆಸರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊಂಟಾರ, ಬಟ್ ಏನೂ ಇದು ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಹುಬ್ಳಿ ಧಾರವಾಡದಾಗ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅದಾವೆ. ಕುಡಿಯೋ ನೀರಿನ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅದಾವೆ, ರೋಡಿನ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅದಾವೆ.
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. The controversial Huballi Idgah Maidan is in the news once again and the epicenter of a face-off between the BJP and the opposition in the state. The Huballi Dharwad Municipal Corporation, which is controlled by the BJP, has decided to rename the Idgah Maidan to the Kittur Chennamma ground, named after the queen of the princely state of Kittur, who led an armed resistance against the British East India Company in 1824. Once controlled by the Anjuman Islam Muslim body, in 2010 the Maidan was brought under the ambit of the Huballi Dharwad Municipal Corporation. However, expanding religious ceremonies at the site led to legal tussle, where last year the Anjuman Islam moved the High Court against the proposed plans for Ganesh Chaturthi, claiming permission will lead to contempt for the Muslim faith. Turning down the petition, the Karnataka High Court had said that the ground belongs to the corporation and it can do what it considers appropriate, noting that prayers during Ramzan and Bakrid cannot be interfered with as well. With that precedent, the name of the ground has been changed, and the opposition, namely the Congress and the MIM, have called it a pre-poll stunt and part of the BJP's strategy to divert attention from issues that matter, people's issues that are plaguing the state of Karnataka. But it's not just Huballi. A new demand has come to light in Bengaluru for renaming the Idgah Maidan in the city. Resident groups in Chamrajpet area are demanding that the ground currently with the revenue department be named after the Wadiyars, the rulers of the kingdom of Mysore. The ground in Bengaluru was also at the center of a legal storm where the government's push for Ganesh Chaturthi was challenged by the Karnataka Waqf Board in the Supreme Court last year. The top court denied permission, citing the maintenance of the status quo, as the Waqf Board claimed a religious plot, highlighting how non-Muslim religious events were not held for 200 years at the site. So how should we see this latest push to change the names of these sites? Are these local demands or pure politicking ahead of the elections? Joining me on the show, S. Prakaash, BJP spokesperson; from Karnataka, Lokesh Jindal, Congress spokesperson; Rahul Easwar, author and activist. We also have Atiq, Rehman, Islamic scholar. S. Prakaash, does the BJP in Karnataka have nothing to highlight in its report card and that's why it's going for the most predictable script?
No, it is wrong to say that it is a political development. Those grounds belong to BBM corporation, and the Muslims were allowed to pray there during their Ramzan and Bakrid and other festivals. And similarly, now even the Hindus are celebrating. People play there. It is used as a cricket ground, playground. Many activities other than the namaz also take place in those places. And it is naming after a public ground after Kittur Chennamma it should have been pride for each and everyone of Hubli. It cannot be a political strategy.
But why are you even going for a name change at this juncture? Just 3 months to go for the elections.
No, it is no more called as a Idgah Maidan. It is long back. It is named as a Kittur Chennamma playground. it is wrong to say that it is now being changed. That name of the ground which was earlier claimed by the Anjuman Islam that belongs to the their institute has been turned down by the High Court, and now the ground belongs to BBMP. BBMP is naming, calling it as a Kittur Channama ground. It's very quite natural.
Okay.
Idgah Maidan is not a name.
Rahman,
it is not a name of any ground.
Yes,
it is a place of worship.
Atiq Rehman, if the name has been changed after a queen, then or some person in history, then why have issue? Because it doesn't really belong to one community. That's a more neutral and a natural name to have.
We should not be getting surprised out of all these gimmicks they are playing. We all know, as you mentioned, elections are around the corner. And in the eyes of the BJP, all Idgah Maidans are, very much in their agenda. And why, I don't understand why they are moving into leaps and bounds. Rather than you declare that we are moving towards a Hindu Rashtra, there is no constitutionalism left. There is nothing of minority sort. Minorities are not counted in India.
No, but I'm not too sure if that is the way to look at it correctly, because Rahul Easwar wants to come in. Rahul Easwar, respond to this, and then I bring in Lokesh Jindal, because this surely is in the domain of politics, not as much in the domain of religion.
Just two submissions. One, yes, there may be tug of war here and there, cultural tug of wars.
Yes.
But let us not get into an alarmist position saying that minorities don't count. See, India is home to the second largest Muslim community in the world. Yes. And we should celebrate it in a very positive way. Yes, there are debates, there are discussions, there are...
Rahul, are the Muslims minorities or not?
Sir, Muslim minorities are there. We have respect towards them. Even in our flag, we have Hindu, Christian, and Muslim.
So
in all
what is the second largest majority argument then? No, Maria, you need to answer Rahul. What is the second largest majority? Is this a constitutional term? Tell me.
Second largest majority of Muslim population in the world after Indonesia is in India. And
where is the second largest majority mentioned in the constitution?
Sir,
if by your narrative the second largest majority argument goes, Maria, then are the Muslims having any minority rights then?
No, Muslims have minority rights and all the other rights. That's not the topic of our discussion. But having said that, see, we need to find spaces of consensus. For example, there was a Mughal ruler's road which was renamed as Abdul Kalam Road. That was a very fair thing, because Abdul Kalam is a person who is a person of agreement of every person, and we should celebrate people like that. So we need to have such informed discussion rather than extremely polarizing debates. Yes, we had a checkered history, we had some struggle in past, we had some troubles in the past, but we should not let the wounds of past overcome the present. So we need much more moderate discussion from both sides, whether you belong to the so-called right wing or the liberal.
Yes. Because if it is being seen from the cultural prism, it should be not made into alarmist the way Atiq Rehman is making it sound. But this is pure politics. If anything, the BJP realizes that this is a script which has yielded dividends for them, and because of all that we have seen emerge from Karnataka, be it the issue of potholes, the infrastructure collapse in Bengaluru recently, this is familiar script, and a script which will lead to polarization. Lokesh Jindal.
Yes, good evening. I think Mr. Rahul Easwar, he rightly pointed out that we have had a history, and let us not politicize that history and ignore what the state is supposed to do. Now, rose remains a rose by whatever name you call it out. Similarly, the character of that particular ground does not change if you change its name. But the point is, the manner in which BJP...
So, are you okay with the name change, Lokesh Jindal? Is the Congress party okay with the name change?
No, not at all. Because BJP manufactures conflict. It deliberately tries to sow seeds of dissension. It tries to polarize the society. A society that lived in harmony before is polarized for its vote gain, for its political ends. Social tensions are manufactured so that economic aspects, they could be overcome. The incapabilities of the government, they could be overshadowed.
No, but the other argument, Lokesh Jindal, is that Idgah is specific to a community, if it belongs to the corporation, the local corporation, then being named after the queen of a princely state, that is Kittur, should not be objection, should not, that none of the sides should have a problem with that. What is the objection then?
If we consider the state, it's a secular state. So Indian conception of secular is all religions are to be treated equally. So the state does not favor any particular religion. Neither does it hold any particular religion in contempt. The point is the manner in which this state has been showing a degree of contempt, hostility towards a particular religion is against the constitutional principle of a secular state system. Now I want to ask a question. Will BJP ever change name of a ground that is based upon a particular historical figure who is Hindu? No, it won't do that because it doesn't suit their narrative. But just because a particular place, public space,
no, but Lokesh Jindal, politically speaking, you're getting into the domain of culture, and I have two experts to talk about it. Politically speaking, is the Congress on sticky wicket just because of this issue? Because you are taking a stand which will not be seen as pro-minority, but it will be definitely seen as anti-majority.
No. See, there is nothing majority, minority, but it is nationalist, anti-national. A stand that favors, that upholds the society, its unity, that is for the benefit of India as a nation, is nationalist, and an ideology which aims at dividing the society, creating conflict, is anti-nationalist. It's not majority or minority, I repeat again. It's nationalist.
So, Mr. Prakaash, so for all the talks of nationalism that the BJP may have been doing, according to the Congress party, you are actually anti-nationals.
No, I'm not surprised by the argument putting forth by the Congress leader. They are always against the majority community. They only speak about the secularism and never show an impartial attitude towards both the majority and the minority community. It is a public ground. It belongs to the municipal corporation Huballi and Dharwad. And it has been named long back as Kittur Channamma Maidan. It was when it was Idgah Maidan. No activity was allowed by the Anjumam Islam Institute there. They thought it belongs to them. None of them have any activity. Now it belongs to the High Court. The Constitution, what Mr. Atiq Rehman is saying, the same High Court has said that it is a public ground and any function can take place in that premises.
Yes. So if there is okay. Let me go with your argument. Let me go with your argument that it is a public ground. So this public ground has to be renamed. It has to be renamed right away because you have elections around the corner.
No, that public ground it was declared as public ground long back, not today or yesterday. And the ground is. Then
why didn't you go for a name change long back when it was declared a public ground?
It is no more. It is called as a Idgah Maidan. It is always called as a Kittur Channamma Maidan only. And I don't know why now this issue has come up. Long back it has been changed and there is nothing wrong in it. And with regards to the Chamrajpet Maidan, whatever I heard, we have nothing to do with that. See, what's happening in Huballi, the court has given a clear verdict, it belongs to Hindus. There is no conflict there. Even prayer take place, Ganesh Chaturthi
so if there is no conflict, I get your viewpoint. I get your viewpoint completely. But I am saying, you have elections to go for. And if the Bommai government is confident that it has done work for the people of the state, if it is confident that its welfare measures have reached the last man standing, then why go for issues such as these?
First of all, let me tell you, in this ground, 20 years back, not even national flag allowed to be unfurled there. There were restrictions, prohibition, and BJP had fought vehemently and even sacrificed several of our Karyakartas in order to succeed in hoisting the tricolor in that ground. Later on, it went to the court and it became public property. This one particular issue was there from 1994. We don't have to seek any political gain or benefit out of this issue. There are plethora of developmental activities by the state government led by Mr. Bommai and the central government by our beloved leader Mr. Narendra Modi. We have enough developmental issues to seek votes, and we are only going to fight the election on the positive note. All these issues do come in the course of election campaign. That doesn't mean they occupy the center stage. It is the development only is our agenda.
Okay. So development is the agenda. So then who is, indulging in a polarizing discussion? Lokesh Jindal?
Will they ever change the name of Guru Golwalkar Park to that of Ambedkar Park, or let us say Abdul Kalam Park? I want to ask them a question. Will you ever do that? Will you support that? No, they won't do that. Because their entire objective of changing
How do you know?
of Mughal Garden into Amrit
It was your party which defeated
changing the
Ambedkar in
name
the
of city,
parliament election.
changing
And
the
you
name of
lecture us.
park, changing the name of various places, is simply to manufacture some form of a conflict, to create some noise, to get attention. Because their work has been hopeless in Karnataka. People are fed up. They don't even have roads. They don't even know how to build roads. How will they build a nation? So they are a complete flop show in Karnataka. Now somehow they are hell-bent upon gaining some form of an attention. So they simply came down, changed the name of a particular park. Now they will try to polarize the society, bring about social conflict, social tension, and then somehow enrage one particular community against other and try to win elections. But sir, it won't work. Please, you can do something better. Why don't you have better advisors and better people who can bring about some constructive policy formulation? Why can't you move outside, move beyond this Hindu-Muslim?
Name does not want to bring any votes to BJP. I've already explained this ground. We have
so if it doesn't bring any vote to the BJP, then why go for it? But also, Atiq Rehman, here is a ground which is now for everybody, belongs to every member of each and every community. Why should that name continue in the first place?
That's a good argument, Maria. So all the grounds should be public grounds. In fact, when the matter went to the court, I had suggested that I would have been happier if the Supreme Court have allowed the Ganesh festival for 2 or 3 days over there. That's not the issue, Maria. Maria, the issue is why only look at this issue in isolation. The Karnataka government, time and again, be it the selling of the meat around the temples, or the Muslims having their shops around the temples, be it, beef ban and this and that, every time and again. I will never look at these incidents in isolation. The BJP stands for divisive forces. The BJP stands for anti-minority measures. That's the end of it. The last word.
So you are saying that this is all part of a larger design. But then the question is, no. According to you, this is part of a larger design. But then why not realize that there are issues that the Muslims have to think about? That there are issues of education, jobs, that you should be concerned about rather than getting into the name or a rename of a ground.
Very good, Maria, very good. Let us build consensus. Let us have talk with the minority community, the leadership, the Idgah Maidan officials, the Anjuman Intizamiya committees. Why don't the government build up consensus? Of course, Rahul is correct. When we need to have a pluralistic organization of the society, is this the way to have unilateral decisions, anti-minority decisions? Only Idgah Maidan will be challenged and brought into, all festival kind of a thing? That's why I said that we are prepared for this. We know how the BJP will be functioning henceforth. So we are not, and I am not alarming, Maria. I am not at all alarming my people. I am telling the people that this government stands for anti-minority measures. Have it in your stride.
No, but then, Mr. Prakaash, could the members of the minority community, particularly the Anjuman Islami, which is actually fighting that battle in the court, have taken on board before this rename strategy? Because if it belongs to all, take them on board. Let there be consensus. Let there be discussion.
when the ground was called Idgah Maidan, they did not allow even the tricolour to unfurl in that ground. They said it is not possible. People had to shed lives.
Mr. Prakaash, that happened 20 years ago, according to you. In the last 20 years, BJP has come to power multiple times. It has been in power for 10 years. What did you do in these 10 years?
When it was called Idgah Maidan, you don't permit anything to happen there. Not even the tricolour to be hoisted
Sir, I'm asking you a specific question. When the renaming happened, were the members of the Anjuman-e-Islami taken on board?
No, they are not the part of that ground. Ground belongs to the corporation. It's a state government property.
So the state government is also responsible for law and order. State government is also responsible for ensuring that there is peace. State government is also responsible for ensuring that all communities are taken on board on these important decisions.
Who has objected to it? Was there is there any protest in Huballi for renaming it? No. The people, Huballi Dharwad Municipal Corporation passes a resolution who are elected members of the corporation. They want to rename it. It means that the people of Huballi want the ground to be called.
No, they are not the real representatives. The Huballi Municipal Corporation has only is governed by the BJP. The question is that this was a contested property. If it is a contested property, it is important for all the parties to be on board. Because this only further divides the society and widens the fault lines.
It will divide the society if after the naming of that ground as the Kittur Chennamma ground, if the namaz is not allowed on the first Ramzan or Bakrid, that definitely divides.
So if the namaz is being allowed, fine enough. Rahul Easwar, if the namaz is being allowed and during Eid, Bakrid and other celebrations will be allowed, then why this furor at all?
Mariji, just two submissions. One, we had even freedom fighters who named themselves Ram Mohammad Singh Azad. Our Jai Hind was given by a Muslim brother called Abid Hassan. When there was a conflict, in order to support Hindu brothers, he named himself Abid Hassan Safrani. So there is a very simple solution to it. With Atiq Rehman sir can take it up. We all know the historical importance of Chennamma. Why don't you call it Chennamma Idgah Maidan? You popularize the usage. Chennamma will also be there. Idgah will also be there. And Chennamma Idgah Maidan can always be a great synergy and syncretism of Indian culture, where a great Hindu woman, princess will be remembered, and it is also sacred for Eid. So call it Chennamma Idgah Maidan rather than fighting for any one of them.
Okay, so that's a suggestion that is coming in from Rahul Easwar. Are you in agreement, Mr. Prakaash? That's a very secular suggestion.
No, that may be a secular solution from Rahul Easwar, but that is for the Huballi Dharwad Municipal Corporation members to take the call. I am not the person to decide about it. Now, I am, as I said earlier also, for the last 20 years, that ground is called Kittur Chennamma ground only.
So for the last 20 years, it is being called. Why this furor? Lokesh Jindal, if the members of the minority community are being allowed to offer namaz, they are not being stopped from all the celebrations, then why even have such a kind of chaos around the rename?
Maria, will you watch Tom and Jerry if Tom stopped chasing Jerry? Or if they both of them, they entered into a friendship? No. Because the very fact that Tom chases Jerry, we are all excited to watch the show.
No, there's no Tom and Jerry here. Lokesh Jindal, let's not trivialize it, please. Thank you so much for your time, Lokesh Jindal, S. Prakaash, Rahul Easwar and Atiq Rehman. Shifting focus to debate 2.